Determine the limit by interpreting it as the definition of the derivative. Limit as h goes to 0 of 4 times h minus 2 plus 7 over 3 times h minus 2 plus 5 minus 1 all over h. This is of the form limit as h goes to 0 of f of a plus h minus f of a all over h, which is the definition of the derivative and is equal to f prime of a. So instead of working out the limit directly, we can, as an alternative, find the derivative of f of x, f prime of x, and then evaluate it at a. In order to do that, we have to first determine f of x. And that is determined by comparing f of a plus h to the f of a plus h over here. Now it needs to be in the form of f of a being a constant plus h. Right now we have it as h minus 2. We will want to rewrite that. And so we can rewrite that as limit as h goes to 0 of, instead of 4 times h minus 2, 4 times minus 2 plus h. It means the same thing, but then it's written in the form of a plus h. And then plus 7, and then likewise in the denominator here, it'll be 3 times a negative 2 plus h plus 5, and then minus 1 all over h. F of a plus h is determined by comparing it to this, and what we do is to find f of x, remove the a plus h's and replace them with x's. So take these a plus h's here, take them out, and put an x in place of each of them, and there's your f of x. So it looks like we'll have 4x plus 7 over 3x plus 5. You don't include the negative 1 because the negative 1 is the f of a and is not part of our f of a plus h. So we have our f of x is 4x plus 7 over 3x plus 5. The other thing we need to find is our a value. And our a value is determined by comparing a plus h, whatever is added to h is the a. And if we look here, and they will match, it's a negative 2. So a is a negative 2. And so what we'll do here is work out the derivative of f of x. It is a quotient, so f prime of x will follow the quotient rule. Derivative of the numerator, that's a 4, times the denominator left alone, 3x plus 5, minus the numerator left alone, 4x plus 7, times the derivative of the denominator, that'll be a 3, all over the denominator quantity squared. In the numerator, let's distribute the 4 into here. That will give us a 12x plus a 20, and the negative 3 into here, and that will give us a negative 12x, and then minus a 21, all over 3x plus 5 quantity squared. Now we can combine like terms in the numerator, so f prime of x will be, well, the 12x's will cancel out, and 20 minus 21 is negative 1. So we have negative 1 over 3x plus 5 squared. We can now evaluate this at the a value. F prime of negative 2 will equal negative 1 over 3 times a negative 2 and then plus 5, the entire thing squared. So negative 1 over 3 times negative 2 is negative 6, and then add to 5, quantity squared. So negative 1 over negative 6 plus 5 is a negative 1, and then squared. So we have negative 1 over negative 1 squared. Negative 1 times negative 1, which is a positive 1. And we have negative 1 over positive 1. Anything over a 1 is equal to itself, so we have negative 1. And therefore, this overall limit up here is equal to negative 1.